Hey Gemini, I just pulled cards for you, and honestly, what came through is something I really need to share with you. So I'm sitting here with my deck, and the energy around you right now is really interesting. Let me walk you through what the universe is, showing me about your dreams and intuition right now. So the first card that came out is the Seven of Cups, and when I saw this, I immediately felt this energy of possibilities swirling around you. You know how sometimes you close your eyes and you see all these different scenarios playing out? That's exactly what's happening with you right now. The Seven of Cups is telling me that you're in this phase where your imagination is absolutely on fire. You're dreaming about so many different things, and honestly, Gemini, this is such a powerful place to be. But here's what I'm picking up on. There's this feeling of being a little bit overwhelmed by all the choices and visions you're seeing. You might be having these really vivid dreams lately where you wake up and you're not quite sure what was real and what wasn't, and that's because your intuition is trying to communicate with you through symbols and images. The universe is basically giving you a preview of different paths you could take, but not all of them are meant for you to walk down. Some of these visions are tests, some are distractions, and some are genuine messages about your future. What I'm feeling really strongly here is that you need to start paying attention to which dreams keep coming back to you. The recurring ones, those are the real messages. Your subconscious is literally trying to get your attention and show you something important about where you're headed. This card is also telling me that you might be someone who gets lost in daydreams a lot. And while that's beautiful and it shows how creative and imaginative you are, the Seven of Cups is asking you to ground some of those visions into reality. Pick one or two dreams that really make your heart race when you think about them, and start taking small steps toward making them real. The second card is the Tower, and okay, I'm not gonna lie. When this card showed up, I paused for a second because the Tower always brings this energy of sudden change and revelation. But here's what's really interesting about the Tower showing up in your reading today. It's not here to scare you, it's here to shake things up in the best possible way. What I'm sensing is that you've been holding on to certain beliefs or ideas about your dreams and your intuition that are actually limiting you. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you're not psychic enough, or that your dreams don't mean anything important. Or maybe you've been ignoring signs because they seem too crazy to be real. The Tower is coming in to completely shatter those false beliefs. This is the card of awakening. And what it's telling me is that you're about to have this moment where everything suddenly makes sense. Like when you're trying to solve a puzzle and you just can't figure it out, and then suddenly one piece clicks into place and the whole picture becomes clear? That's the energy of the Tower for you right now. You might experience this as a sudden realization in a dream, or you might wake up one morning with this crystal clear understanding of something that's been confusing you for months. The Tower also suggests that your intuition is getting stronger and it's breaking through any mental blocks you've had. Your logical Gemini mind likes to analyze and question everything, but your intuition doesn't work that way. It just knows. And the Tower is here to help you trust that knowing even when it doesn't make logical sense. I'm also picking up that you might have a dream or an intuitive hit that completely changes your perspective on a situation in your life. It could be about a relationship, a career decision, or even just about understanding yourself better. Whatever it is, it's going to feel like a lightning bolt of clarity. Moving to the third card, and we have the Ace of Cups, and oh my goodness, Gemini, this is such a beautiful energy. After the Tower comes and clears away all the confusion and false beliefs, the Ace of Cups flows in with this pure emotional and intuitive energy. This card is all about new beginnings in the realm of feelings and intuition. What I'm seeing here is that you're about to open up to a whole new level of emotional awareness and psychic ability. The Ace of Cups is like the universe handing you a cup filled with divine love and intuitive wisdom and saying, "Here, drink from this." You're being invited to trust your feelings more deeply than you ever have before. I'm getting this sense that you might start having dreams that are filled with water imagery, like oceans, rain, rivers, or even just glasses of water. Pay attention to those because water in dreams is always connected to emotions and intuition. The Ace of Cups is also telling me that your heart is becoming more open and receptive to messages from the universe. You might find yourself suddenly knowing things without understanding how you know them. Like you'll think of someone and they'll call you, or you'll have a feeling about something and it turns out to be true. This is your intuition getting stronger and clearer. The beautiful thing about the Ace of Cups is that it brings this energy of emotional healing too. So if you've been carrying any pain or confusion in your heart, your dreams might start showing you ways to release and heal those feelings. You might dream about someone from your past and wake up feeling like you've finally made peace with that situation. This card is really encouraging you to journal your dreams and your intuitive hits because you're receiving so much guidance right now and you Don't want to forget the messages? The fourth card. Coming through is Seven of Pentacles. And this is really interesting because it's shifting the energy from the emotional and intuitive realm into something more practical. The Seven of Pentacles is about patience and looking at the results of your efforts. What this tells me is that you've actually been working on developing your intuition and paying attention to your dreams for a while now, even if you haven't been fully conscious of it. You've been planting seeds, so to speak, and now you're in this phase where you're waiting to see what's going to grow from all that inner work. This card has this energy of pausing and assessing where you are. I'm getting the sense that you might be wondering if all this attention you're paying to your dreams and intuition is actually leading anywhere, or if you're just wasting your time. The Seven of Pentacles is here to tell you that yes, it absolutely is leading somewhere, but you need to be patient with the process. Your intuitive abilities are like a garden that needs time and care to flourish. You can't force a flower to bloom faster by pulling on it, right? Same thing with your psychic development. What I'm also picking up is that this card is asking you to evaluate which intuitive practices actually work for you and which ones don't. Maybe you've been trying to meditate, but it just doesn't click for you. But you notice that you get the clearest intuitive hits when you're walking in nature or taking a shower. The Seven of Pentacles wants you to focus your energy on what actually brings results for you personally. Don't waste time on methods that feel forced or unnatural. Your intuition is unique to you, and it will speak to you in its own way. This card is also suggesting that some of your dreams are showing you the long-term consequences of decisions you're making now. So pay special attention to dreams that seem to be set in the future. The fifth card is the Hermit, and this one makes so much sense following the Seven of Pentacles. The Hermit is about going inward and seeking wisdom in solitude. What I'm feeling here is that you're being called to spend some time alone with your thoughts and dreams. This doesn't mean you have to become a recluse or anything like that, but it does mean that you need to create space for quiet reflection. The Hermit holds a lantern that lights the way in the darkness, and in your case, Gemini, that lantern represents your inner knowing, your intuition. The message here is that the answers you're seeking aren't going to come from external sources or from asking other people what they think. The answers are within you, and you need to get quiet enough to hear them. I'm getting this strong sense that your most powerful and prophetic dreams are going to come during periods when you've disconnected from social media and all the noise of the outside world. Your Gemini energy loves to be social and connected to everyone, but the Hermit is asking you to balance that with periods of solitude where you can really tune into your inner voice. This card also suggests that you might be going through a phase of spiritual seeking right now, where you're trying to understand the deeper meaning of your dreams and intuitive experiences. You might find yourself drawn to books about dream interpretation, articles about developing psychic abilities, or conversations with people who understand the spiritual realm. The Hermit is encouraging this quest for knowledge, but remember that the ultimate teacher is within you. Trust what you discover in your own inner exploration more than what any book or person tells you. Your dreams are personal to you, and while general symbolism can be helpful, your subconscious speaks in a language that's unique to you. Now the sixth card is showing me the Ten of Swords, and I know this card can look really intense and kind of scary. But stick with me here because the message is actually quite profound. The Ten of Swords represents an ending, a final release, a moment where you just can't hold on to something anymore. In the context of your dreams and intuition, what this is telling me is that there's an old way of thinking or an old belief system that needs to completely die away for you to step into your full intuitive power. You might have been holding on to skepticism about your own abilities, or maybe you've been afraid that if you really develop your intuition, people will think you're weird or crazy. The Ten of Swords says that this fear, this doubt, this old identity of yourself as someone who isn't intuitive, it all needs to end. And endings can be painful, but they're also necessary for rebirth. I'm picking up that you might have a dream that feels really intense or even nightmarish. But when you wake up and think about it, you realize it was actually showing you a part of yourself that you need to let go of. Dreams of death in the Ten of Swords energy are never about literal death. They're always about transformation and the ending of one phase so another can begin. This card is also telling me that you might receive a very clear, very direct message through your intuition that completely cuts through all the confusion and uncertainty you've been feeling. It will be one of those moments where you just know something with absolute certainty and there's no room left for doubt. The Ten of Swords can feel painful because it forces you to face truth that you might have been avoiding. But on the other side of that truth is so much freedom and clarity. The seventh card here is Three of Cups, and the energy is shifting again into something much lighter and more joyful. The Three of Cups is all about celebration, friendship, and emotional connections with others. After the intensity of the Ten of Swords, this card comes in to remind you that you don't have to walk your intuitive path alone. What I'm sensing is that you're going to connect with people who share your interests in dreams, intuition, and spirituality. These connections are going to bring so much joy and validation to your journey. You know how sometimes you can have an experience that feels really profound to you, but when you try to explain it to someone who doesn't get it, you end up feeling kind of silly or misunderstood. The Three of Cups is telling me that you're going to find your people, the ones who not only understand what you're experiencing, but who have their own stories and insights to share with you. This could manifest as joining a group or community focused on spiritual development, or it could be as simple as discovering that a friend you already have is also interested in these topics. The Three of Cups also has this energy of celebration, which tells me that you're going to have some really beautiful, uplifting dreams that fill you with joy and remind you of how blessed you are. Pay attention to dreams where you're laughing, dancing, or celebrating with others because these dreams are showing you the energy that you're moving toward in your waking life. This card can also indicate that your intuition will guide you toward social situations and connections that are really good for you. You might have a strong feeling to reach out to someone or to attend a certain event, and when you follow that intuitive nudge, something wonderful comes from it. The 8th card coming through is King of Pentacles, and this brings such a grounded, stable energy to your reading. The King of Pentacles is successful, practical, and knows how to turn visions into reality. What this card is telling me is that you have the ability to take the insights and guidance you receive through your dreams and intuition and actually use them to improve your material life. This isn't just about having interesting spiritual experiences. This is about letting your intuition guide you toward practical success and abundance. I'm getting the sense that you might receive intuitive guidance about money, career, or long-term goals. The King of Pentacles encourages you to trust those hits and take action on them. Maybe you dream about a certain career path or business idea, and instead of dismissing it as just a random dream, the King of Pentacles wants you to explore whether there's actually something there worth pursuing. This card is also about mastery and expertise, which suggests that as you continue to develop your intuitive abilities, you're going to become really skilled at interpreting your dreams and understanding the messages you receive. You might even reach a point where you're helping other people understand their dreams and intuition. The King of Pentacles has this energy of being a mentor or teacher, someone who's walked the path and now helps others. Your Gemini nature loves to share information and communicate, so I can see you becoming someone that others turn to for guidance in this area. This card is also reminding you to stay grounded as you explore these more mystical and intuitive realms. Don't get so caught up in the spiritual that you neglect the practical aspects of your life. The most powerful intuition is the kind that helps you navigate real life, not the kind that takes you away from it. The 9th card is the Emperor, and wow, this is such a strong, authoritative energy. The Emperor is all about structure, discipline, and taking control. In your reading today, what this card is telling me is that you need to create some structure around your intuitive practice. It's one thing to have dreams and intuitive hits randomly, but it's another thing entirely to develop a consistent practice that allows you to really strengthen these abilities. The Emperor is encouraging you to be disciplined about things like keeping a dream journal, setting aside time for meditation or quiet reflection, and actually following through on the intuitive guidance you receive. I'm picking up that you might have a tendency to get excited about something and dive into it intensely for a few days or weeks, but then you lose interest and move on to something else. That's very typical Gemini energy, actually, always curious about the next new thing. But the Emperor is asking you to stick with this intuitive development for the long haul. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. Your dreams are more likely to become clear and prophetic when you're consistently paying attention to them and working with them. The Emperor also represents mastery through discipline, which means that if you put in the consistent effort, you're going to develop really strong intuitive abilities. This card can also indicate that you might receive guidance about taking charge of a situation in your life or stepping into a leadership role. Your intuition might be telling you that it's time to stop waiting for permission or approval and just take action based on what you know is right. Trust that inner authority. And the 10th and final card for you today is the Hanged Man, and this is such a perfect card to end on because it brings everything full circle. The Hanged Man is about surrender, seeing things from a different perspective, and being in a state of suspension. What this card is telling me is that the key to unlocking your deepest intuitive wisdom is learning to let go of control and surrender to the flow of the universe. Your Gemini mind wants to figure everything out, analyze it, put it into neat little categories, and make sense of it all. But the Hanged Man says that some things can't be understood through logic. They can only be experienced through surrender. This card often shows up when someone is being asked to pause, to wait, to be patient. You might feel like you're in this suspended state right now where you're not quite sure what's coming next, and the Hanged Man is telling you that this pause is actually sacred. Use this time to really go deep with your inner work. The Hanged Man is hanging upside down, which means he sees the world from a completely different angle than everyone else. Your dreams and intuition are showing you perspectives and truths that aren't obvious in your normal waking consciousness. When you dream, you're literally entering an altered state where the rules of normal reality don't apply, and that's where the magic happens. The Hanged Man encourages you to embrace the strangeness and mystery of your dreams rather than trying to force them to make logical sense. Some dreams are meant to be felt and experienced rather than analyzed. This card is also about sacrifice, and what it's telling me is that you might need to sacrifice some of your attachment to being seen as logical and rational in order to fully embrace your intuitive gifts. Let yourself be a little bit weird, a little bit mystical, a little bit out there. That's where your power lives. So Gemini, those are your 10 cards, and the journey they're taking you on is really beautiful. From the dreamy possibilities of the Seven of Cups to the surrender and new perspective of the Hanged Man, you're being guided to develop and trust your intuition in a really profound way. Your dreams are speaking to you, and the universe is sending you messages constantly. The key is learning to quiet your busy Gemini mind enough to receive those messages and then having the courage to trust them and act on them. You're entering a phase where your intuitive abilities are going to strengthen significantly, but it requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to see the world in a new way. I hope this reading resonated with you and gave you some insights to work with. Trust yourself, Gemini. You know more than you think you do.